Hey, this is Trish Causey, and I just wanted to let all of you know that over the next month or so, possibly 2 months, I am going to be uploading my archives of my radio shows, Musical Theater Talk with Trish Causey, and then Aroused Woman Radio with Trish Causey, up here to my YouTube page. The reason for this is twofold. For one thing, I have so many people asking me, where is your show? Where can I listen to your show? Because I had so many listeners with each of my shows. They're getting kind of antsy. They want to hear their old programs again. So I will be getting those up for you shortly. One of the main reasons is that Musical Theater Talk was, I started that in 2009, and I grew that to where I had listeners all over the world. I had about 27,000 listeners to Musical Theater Talk with Trish Causey as I interviewed Broadway stars and Tony Award winners and the top voice people in the industry. And I loved doing that show. But around 2012, I kind of took a hiatus from Musical Theater Talk because I was really moving into being very, very, very active with my activism. And around 2012, which was an election year, that was when we had Susan G. Komen getting pissy with Planned Parenthood. There was the all-male birth control panel in the House, and they wouldn't let any women talk. That's when Sandra Fluke, kind of rose to fame, and then there was also the whole Todd Aiken and legitimate rape comment. It was an election year, so it was a dirty, dirty year in politics, and so around the beginning of 2012, I already had a website and a blog for my activism called The Activist Voice, but at the beginning of 2012 I kind of realized I really need to focus on women's issues and women's rights because they were just obliterating us in the national scene. And so I changed The Activist Voice to Aroused Woman. Arouse means to stir to action, to awaken. And so between action and awakening, that's exactly what I wanted for my activism. And so the Activist Voice became Aroused Woman. And sort of in that process, Musical Theater Talk kind of went to the wayside. I went on hiatus and just kind of didn't go back, which sounds horrible, I know. I love doing the show, but after doing the show for several years, I did 120 something shows. I had over 136 guests. I had 86 hours of programming, 27,000 listeners around the world. I was ready for a break. And so when the activist blog came along at the end of 2011, I really liked doing that. And then 2012, of course, as I just explained, I really just got going with Aroused Woman. With Aroused Woman, that was just an intense experience of creating that blog. And then I created a forum. We had a forum for a little while, but then people just got snarky and mean, so I dropped the forum. But I turned Aroused Woman, the site and the blog, into a radio show and had some great interviews on that about sexual health. I even interviewed Broadway stars and Tony nominees on that show because, again, it's about awakening and about just a call to action. And so it was just some really good stuff there on that radio show, Aroused Woman Radio. And then in 2013, I was missing musical theater so much, I started Musical Theater Magazine. And so Musical Theater Magazine, which I just launched just a few days ago here in 2015, I just launched season 2 of Musical Theater Magazine. But I'm ready to get back on the radio with Musical Theater Talk. And so with Aroused Woman, I started the radio show, and I did several episodes. I had 7,000 listeners per week with Aroused Woman Radio, and I started working on launching the magazine for that. So because Aroused Woman has evolved from just my own personal journey of awakening and a call to action, but it's about arts, activism, and awakening, and that can happen on many different levels. And so it's just been amazing, the journeys that I've been on with both of these projects. But one of the things that people always ask me is, when are you coming back with the shows and where can I listen to the shows? Well, the problem is that what I was using was Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio, I think, was better several years ago. Now I think it's too big. I think it's got too many people on there. I've done shows recently with Aroused Woman Radio where the sound and the audio I was not happy with. And as a paying customer, because I was paying for bandwidth, I was very upset. But some of the things that I needed, I couldn't get because I was not one of the super duper premium customers. The super duper premium, you can pay $250 a month for that. And it's funny because when I talk about doing the radio show, any radio show, people say, oh, well, you can do it for free. There are all sorts of places you can do it for free. Well, actually, no, you can't. Not for what I wanted and what I was used to doing. With Musical Theater Talk, which started back in 2009, doing that, and even with Aroused Woman, I was able to have live call-in guests. I was able to have the listeners could call in and ask questions. There was a live chat room, so the listeners would be typing away and talking amongst themselves, which is always fun to kind of listen to the show and read that at the same time. It's very nerve-wracking at times, but it was fun and was good energy. But it's so difficult to get even good quality out of that platform anymore. And I've tried others. I have tried other platforms, but they don't have the functionality of what I need. And so what I'm going to do is I'm bringing the archives from the shows over here to YouTube, and I'm going to figure out something. I might do live streaming, which is an option. Do live streaming. And that way you can still hear the show live and comment live down in the comments area. And it might be the same experience. And then I don't have to try and shell out big money every month to get information to the masses. That's all I want to do. So anyway, I wanted to warn my subscribers about this because I think you get an email every time I upload a video. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and turn that option off because, again, 120-something shows on one radio show, and I had 25 episodes on my Aroused Woman Radio. I don't want you getting mad and leaving, so I'm going to try and turn those notifications off. But I just want to give you a heads up for those of you who loved Musical Theater Talk and now, of course, love the magazine, Musical Theater Magazine. I'm going to have the old shows back up here and hopefully some new shows in the near future. And then we'll get Aroused Woman Radio on here, which of course covers some very controversial things and a lot of fun things. But most especially, I'm looking forward to doing new shows of Aroused Woman Radio. In fact, I have not forgotten about that sexual health question that I need to answer that I said several days ago that I was going to get over here and do it. But it's just been, if you've seen the past few days' videos, I've been going through some things, and I'm just trying to get back in my groove, and I can't wait to answer this question. Believe me, I want to get to it. And so I'll start doing some of my Ask Trish and maybe even some of my daily OJs over here on my YouTube channel. So anywho, just wanted to throw that out there, let you all know what's going on with Musical Theater Talk, in case you were wondering, because I know some of you have. You contact me on Twitter and you talk, where's my show? Okay, I'm bringing it back. And then Aroused Woman Radio, and then of course subscribe to Musical Theater Magazine, and then the upcoming Aroused Woman magazine, because I have some incredible interviews with that. It's astounding the interviews that I got for Aroused Woman magazine. So you need to get that too. So anyway, okay, so I will sign off now. So I will say I love you and thank you so much for being with me here on this everyday video thing. And yeah, it's turning out to be a good thing, and I'm really liking it. And so it's good for me to be able to talk to you on a regular basis. So I will see you tomorrow, and who knows what the topic will be mañana. Okay, I love you. Bye.